This video might legitimately be the end of me. Hi, hey, hi, it's me, your void. You have to excuse the absolute lack of motivation here because I am currently living through the worst heat wave in years, if not decades, here in Germany. It is 39 degrees outside. I'm filming this early in the morning and I'm already being cooked to death. But I'm also talking a bit softer today because my stepdad is currently sleeping off his last night shift. So it's just a perfect storm of stupid circumstances today. Anyway, it's July, or it's about to be July, and that means one thing and one thing only: Adventurerathon. The Adventurerathon is a readathon created by Kirsty from KayBethBookish, and she and I co-host the whole thing. And this time around, Kirsty decided to make all our lives hell, and she came up with so many prompts. Thankfully, you don't have to read for all of the prompts. There are 3 different categories that these prompts slot in, and you don't have to read all prompts in a single category to reach the end of this quest. If you want more details on this round of the Adventurerathon, go to the announcement video. I'm going to link it below. If I remember, I'm going to put it somewhere up here. I usually remember those. But my overachieving perfectionist ass forgot about the fact that we don't have to read for every prompt to get all of the things. So I have come up with a TBR that includes every single prompt, and that is what I will talk you through now. And because it is so many books, I will hopefully not yap too long about any of these books, hopefully. And also, I would like to put the footnote in here: this is a pile of possibilities, because there is no way in any hell that I'm going to read all of these books in a single month. Anyway, let's get into this before this video balloons way too much. I also have to edit this in 39-degree weather. So we will start off with the section of the fairy tales. No particular reason, it's just the first thing in my list. Like, I have an entire color-coded spreadsheet for this shit, okay? That is how serious this is. So we will start with the fairy tale section. And the first prompt for that is the Hansel and Gretel prompt, which wants me to read something that features sweet confections or a sweet romance. And for this one, I'm going to read something that will make Kirsty very, very happy. Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I always want to say Helena, by Hannah Bonham Young. All I know about this is that it is a romance between 2 people who accidentally got pregnant after a one-night stand. She has a limb difference. He is an amputee. Kirsty loved it. I have not heard a single negative thing about this. Okay, cool, moving on. The next prompt is Rumpelstiltskin, with the prompt of a character needs to have a unpronounceable name or a very unique name. Stretch it. It's allowed if there's a glossary in the back. For that one, I'm picking up Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wiswell, because one of the main characters, if not the main character, it doesn't look complicated, but it's a lot of repeating parts of a word. I think it's shisheshen? Shisheshen. I don't know, but the fact that I'm confused about this qualifies this book for that prompt. And all I know about this book is that word salad character is apparently a shapeshifter, a worm, something like that, and they fall in love with a human that stumbles across them. Next prompt is Bluebeard. Wants me to read something that features a wedding or a marriage, and for that one I'm going to pick up an arc with Brides in the Dark by, was his name Jacob or was it Stephen? Is it Jacob Stephen? Is it Stephen Jacob Moore? I don't know. You see it. And that one has the word brides in the title, and it's apparently a dark thing where people get brides from the sky and then they turn out to be monsters? ? I had this arc for a while. It features the word brides in the title, and it's all about these brides and men who get them to marry them, so I personally count it. Then we have the prompt for Goldilocks, and I'm very excited for that one because that one wants you to read an origin story, and for that one I'm going to pick up the second novella in the Night of the Seven Kingdoms collection, which is the Sworn Sword, because this is technically the origin story of one king in Westeros who is very important, because that king is directly in the line that later births Daenerys Targaryen. Yay. I count it as an origin story. It's a prequel. It's a prequel to a large fantasy series. I count it as an origin story. And maybe, just maybe, I will use this as an excuse to reread the first novella, and maybe, just maybe, I will use that as an excuse to rewatch the show. Who knows? Also, quick check-in, how are we feeling after season 3, episode 1 of House of the Dragon? Because I'm mourning someone, and it's not the one everyone else is mourning. Also, Sheep Stealer, the ugliest dragon to ever live, he did nothing wrong, and I love him. He is my baby. If you come for him, I'm gonna come for you. And then for Snow White, the prompt is to read something that features the number 7 in any kind of way, and for that one I'm going to pick up the 3rd novella in A Night of the 7 Kingdoms by George R.R. Martin. Which I believe that one is the Mystery Night. Yes, that's the Mystery Night. Same procedure as before. We follow these two characters' road trip, and they have small adventures, and it's the prequel to a king that is very important in the line of succession that eventually spawns Daenerys Targaryen. Donkey Cabbages wants you to read something that features a bonkers plot, and for that I'm going to pick up Yankees. I'm going to pick up volume 3 and volume 4, because we implemented a new rule: if you read mangas or comics or graphic novels, you have to read 2 to fulfill 1 prompt, because they read so fast. So I'm going to read 2 volumes of Yankees for this. The plot itself is not the thing that makes it bonkers. The plot is just street gangs dishing it out, because there's a new guy and he ruffles some feathers and wants to find another guy, and power lines are redrawn across the city. What makes this so bonkers is that all of these guys are actually cats, and these cats behave or see themselves as people, and it's just, everything is also over the top, and it mixes these gangster aesthetics and plots and whatnot with actual cat behavior. I remember in volume 2 there was a scene where they were all running to get one of their own back, but people got distracted along the way because a fishmonger set out fish for them and someone else planted catnip outside, so the group splintered off because everyone was doing their own thing. I also think I never talked about the fact that I read volume 1 and 2. I forgot when I read them. I read them this year, but I don't think I ever talked about them. Oops, my bad. Anyway, I'm gonna read volumes 3 and 4 for that. Then for the Snow Queen prompt, you have to follow the usual good versus evil storyline. For that one, I'm going to pick up Blood of the Chosen by Django Wexler, which is the 2nd book in the Silver Eye and Burning Blade series. I didn't fuck it up. I usually fuck it up. And in this one, we follow 2 siblings, and they are on opposite sides of an ideology that is ruling the last remnants of humanity. There was a fight between the Chosen and the Ghouls. One of them is now revered as the good guys, the Chosen one. The Chosen, not the Chosen ones, the Chosen, and the other side, the Ghouls, are seen as evil. And we follow Geyer and Maya. And Maya was raised in the Twilight Order, which follow the Chosen. They have powers from the Chosen. So she is like, the government is great. And then you have Geyer, who only knows his sister was ripped away from him. One of these Twilight Order people ripped out his eye because he had the audacity to not want his sister to leave. And now he's like, dismantle the system, destroy the government, yada yada yada. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes, but there is a good versus evil storyline going on in there, and we have characters who truly believe their side is the good one and the other one is the bad one. Who is what? Who knows? For the Ugly Duckling prompt, you're supposed to read something that has a pretty and an ugly cover, and for that one I'm going to finally finish the Creature Cafe series by Cleo Evans, because I think 2 years ago, a year or 2 ago, Cleo Evans decided all of her covers needed a revamp, and I think the new covers suck. They're not ugly, but compared with the original ones, I don't like them. I like the version with the face on, and now we just have these cartoonish covers. Again, the cartoonish covers are not ugly, but compared to what it was before, I prefer the old covers. So I'm going to read the 10th volume of the Creature Cafe series by Cleo Evans, and in this one the entire story between the barista and Lucifer is coming to an end. They are now finally going to bud heads and probably some other pieces of their bodies. For the Puss in Boot prompts, you have to read something that predominantly features cats, and for that one I'm going to pick up Napkins and Other Distractions by M.A. Wardell, because in each and every book of the Teachers in Love series there is at least one cat dad, and they are obsessed with their cat. And in Napkins and Other Distractions we follow Kent, who is the principal of a kindergarten, I believe, and he meets what's his name? Vincent. He meets Vincent, and Vincent has clinical OCD, and they fall in love, I guess. And Kent has a beautiful, beautiful Maine Coon. And because I already read 2 out of 4, maybe 5, M.A. Waddell announced that a couple of the second book gets another book. Anyway, I have read multiple installments of the series before, so I know these cat dads are not just, oh yeah, I have a cat. The cat is an active participant in the relationship. There is introductions. These cats have characters. These cats have to approve of the partner and stuff like that. These cats are in there. They are important. Moving on. For Rapunzel, you have to read something that features escape plans, and for that one I had to Google a wee bit. I forgot why. I don't know. My brain isn't working at 100% in this heat. Anyway, for that one I'm going to pick up Down Among the Sticks and Stones by... You see it on screen. And I know this is book 2 in the, I think, Wayward Children series. Put a pin in that. Book 1 is on this TBR as well. Because they are novellas, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can read 2 of these in a month. I also have a bunch of books to read in between. Also, I don't have to read it if I read any of the other books. Whatever. I don't know anything about this other than the Wayward Children series is about kids. And I believe they were the chosen ones. And they had their adventures. And now they have to adjust back to normal life. I think that's the premise of the whole thing. I don't know. And then for Goose Girl, you have to read something that features traitors, betrayers, stuff like that. And for that, I'm going to pick up The Mistress of Lies by K.M.N. Wright. It says in the name, it's a Mistress of Lies. The villainous heroine, blah, blah, blah. I believe she has to hide her brother from the Eternal King, because her brother technically comes from a royal bloodline, but he shouldn't be coming from royal. This is heavy on politics, and there's usually a couple of betrayals in politics and stuff. And I mean, with a title like Mistress of Lies, I expect at least one treacherous thing to happen. Also vampires. Vampires! We are now moving on to the folklore section of the whole thing. And for the Lorelei prompt of Mermaids and or Sirens, I put down A Bone in His Teeth by Callan Graves? Callan Graves. Which is a guy falling in love with a mermaid, but it's gay, and I think the mermaids are actually kind of monsters. That's all I know about it. Apparently there's a lot of teeth involved. My brain is really melting out of my ears right now, man. I'm not even halfway done. For the Robin Hood prompt of Squad Goals, I'm going to reread volumes 1 and 2 of Fire Force by Atsushi Okubo. I love Soul Eater by Atsushi Okubo. I do love the anime of Fire Force. I do think that the anime works better for this one than the manga because it is a very dynamic series. The fights are very dynamic. There's a lot of movement going on because everything in this world is based on fire. But this is a prequel to Soul Eater, and the manga is finally done. The anime is done now, so I want to reread the first 3 volumes, which I own, and then make my way through the entire series, because I love the whack shit this man can come up with. And again, because it's a manga, I'm going to read 2 volumes for 1 prompt. Prompt I hate the most. Krampus. Christmas in July. For that one, I'm going to make it very quick, because I do not want to read about Christmas ever, let alone in the middle of summer. What the fuck, Kirsty? So I'm going to just pick up 2 comics for that, with Klaus Crisis in Xmasville and Klaus the Crying Snowman. The Klaus comics are about a fantasy lumberjack version of Santa Claus. It's very cool. I'm going to read 2 comics and then be done with this, if I read anything for this prompt at all, because Christmas in July is such a dumb idea, man. For Nancy, you have to read a book that features tricksters in some kind of way, so for that one I'm going to pick up Tricked by Kevin Hearn, which is the 4th book in the Iron Druid Chronicles series. I started the series eons ago. I think I was like 16 or something when I started the series, and I reread books 1, 2, and 3 for a different round of the Adventurerathon, I think a year ago too. The shipwrecked version of the Adventurerathon. So now I can finally continue with book 4. I have never read book 4. So everything going forward now is me going in blind, but in this one we follow Atticus O'Sullivan, who is a 2100-year-old druid who made a deal with the Morrigan, and that made him semi-immortal, but during his life he pissed off a bunch of gods. Most recently, he killed Thor, and may or may not have caused Ragnarok to happen. And yeah, everyone is out to get him, a bunch of gods from a bunch of different pantheons, and I believe in Tricked, we actually have a trickster god, or trickster entity from Native American history, mythology, because he made a deal with Coyote. Coyote? Trickster god of the Navajo, it says here. Shenanigans will probably ensue because I already met this character in previous books, and yeah, it says trickster on the tin. There is a trickster in there. For Adventuring Hitchhiker, you're supposed to read a ghost story, and given that my goal this year is to finish series I started, I'm going to pick up Bridge of Souls by V.E. Schwab, because this will finish out the City of Ghosts series. Does the series have a name? I don't know. But this is a middle grade about a girl who can see ghosts after she had a near-death experience, and her best friend is a ghost. So now she is traveling with her parents throughout the world. Well, her parents are traveling to shoot a ghost show, and she's coming along because she's only 12 years old, and she helps ghosts she sees, she meets, to pass over. And who knows, maybe she's helping her best friend pass over now. I don't know. But it's the third book in trilogy, so it will fulfill one of my goals of finishing series this year. Yay. For the Erlkönig prompt, aka the Earl King prompt, you are supposed to read something that features plant horror, and for that one I'm going to pick up Swallowed by Max Smitherman. Do I know anything about this book? No. I do know it is plant horror, and that's where it ends. This book, however, comes with a little star attached to it. There's a little footnote there, because I will also be participating in the Summerween Readathon, which is a week long right at the beginning of July, and Swallowed is on there. Don't ask me for what prompt. It's on my spreadsheet, I know that, but I'm too lazy to scroll up to see it. You will have to wait for the Summerween vlog I'm going to put out to see that, but because of that, you will know that I will read Swallowed. It's going to be read. This is one of those certainty reads. So yeah. For Area 51, you're supposed to read something that features aliens, and I could have gone with anything from my sci-fi shelf. You can see it kind of. This shelf is full of sci-fi. There are a lot of aliens here. I could have picked anything off the shelf, but I strategically put short things on this TBR because I know my overachieving ass. I know I will try to get as many of these prompts as possible. So I put something short on here, namely a short story by Chuck Tingle. Some of you may know where this is going. I plan on reading Space Raptor Butt Invasion by Chuck Tingle. I have no idea what this is about, but I'm pretty sure it's about space raptors invading butts. For The Devil's Footprints, you're supposed to read a mystery, and for that one I put down What Feasts at Night by T. Kingfisher, which is the second book in the Sworn Soldier series, which follows a non-binary soldier doing things. The first book was The Fall of House Usher. I don't know if the other ones are also still the Fall of House Usher. I don't think they are, because that house quite literally collapsed. But I like the atmosphere in the first book, so I'm going to continue, even though I heard that book 2 and 3 are just gradually getting worse. I don't know. I'm going to continue with the series until I don't like it anymore. For Black Shuck, you're supposed to read something that features dogs, and I took that way too literally for my recommendation video because I thought it had to be a dog, not anything that resembles a canine, which would have unlocked werewolves. I actually went to the Discord to ask, does anyone have anything interesting with a dog in it? And Kirsty was like, you do know that you're allowed to use werewolves? And I'm like, hold my beer. I don't drink beer. And I put down immediately, without blinking, Ensnared by the Werewolf by Lillian Lark, which is a novella in the Love Bathhouse series. I adore the Love Bathhouse series. I am a Lillian Lark stan. This woman can do no wrong. She hasn't failed me yet, and I'm a bunch of books deep into her work. So I'm, yes. Ensnared by the Werewolf. It's a werewolf and a lady falling in love. And it's a monster romance, so weird appendages will happen. For Ötzi's prompt of curses, you're supposed to read something that features a curse. Wow, my brain just doesn't work. Anyway, you're supposed to read something with a curse, and for that one I'm going to reread One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick, because I want to read this and then Two Twisted Crowns this year, and I haven't started. And yeah, this is a book about, well, card collecting technically, but the main character is more or less cursed by one of these cards, and the land she lives in is cursed by all of these cards. That's why everyone wants to collect all of these cards to lift the curse. Very atmospheric. Very, very atmospheric. For Bunyip's prompt of featuring a cryptid MC, I'm going back to Chuck Tingle, and I'm going to read Bigfoot Sommelier Butt Tasting. Don't question it. For King Arthur's Chosen One trope, we go back to the Wayward Children series with Every Heart a Doorway, because, like I said, I believe this is about kids that were the chosen one. That is all I know about this, and I'm not even sure that is correct, but I put it down, so here we are. So, should I read the Wayward Children series, I have to read this before I read the one for the fairy tales, I guess. For Bus 357, you have to read something with a travel element, and for that one I'm putting down A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, because I want to reread this one, the second book, and then finally finish the third book. I've been sitting on the last 100 pages for years, for 5, 6, at this point, for 6 years I have been sitting on the last 100 pages. I am scared to read them, but this year I'm going to do it. I'm going to just rip off the band-aid and I'm going to reread The Darker Shade of Magic first. And in this one you travel through different worlds, through different Londons. One of our main characters has the ability to do that. Well, actually, a bunch of our main characters have the ability to do that. So, yeah, travel element. For the White Snake prompt, you have to read something that features a snake or a serpent on the cover / in the title, and for that one I'm going to pick up 2 comics. Again, the first one being Water Snake by, don't ask me the author's name, and the other one being a Solomon Kane comic with Ring of the Serpent, I believe was the name. I don't know anything about these comics. I know Water Snake. I saw the cover for Water Snake and was like, ooh, that art style looks fire. So I'm like, yeah, I want to read that. And the Solomon Kane one, I kind of like Solomon Kane. The movie was but Solomon Kane as a character is actually kind of cool, so I'm picking up comics here and there every now and then. And this one has the right word in the title, so I'm going to pick out that one. And again, because it's comics, I have to read 2 instead of 1. For Hu Yi and Chang Yi, the prompt of Dynamic Duo, I'm going to pick up System Collapse by Martha Wells, because this has Murderbot and art in it. I know Murderbot is Arrow, Ace, and doesn't do feelings, but I ship it. I ship Murderbot and art so much. They are like an old married couple after knowing each other for 3 seconds. I love their dynamic, which is why I'm putting it down for this prompt. And for the Pishtako prompt of reading something supernatural / paranormal, I'm going to put down another read of my Summerween TBR with House of Slaughter Volume 6, Azur. This one is the entire series, the House of Slaughter series, is basically fleshing out the world of the Slaughterverse, wherein something is killing the children. You follow Erica and focus on her. The House of Slaughter series expands the world and highlights stuff that happens around her, or basically behind the scenes. And in this one, I believe we get my boy Edwin from Volume 2 back, and shit happens with his totem. And I'm very here for it because I love Edwin. He is so fucked up. I love that. But also I think we uncover some corruption stuff going on in the House of Slaughter itself. So, home stretch, we're doing the fables. For the fable of the goat with 3 kids, you're supposed to read something that features murder in any kind, in any shape, form, whatever. And for that one, I'm going to pick up The Grave Between Us by Tal Bauer, which is book 2 in a duology about a FBI agent and a BAU FBI agent, also known as a profiler, falling in love. It's gay, and they solve murders, and I believe in this one, a killer from the past of the profiler is coming back and threatens his career, new family life, whatever. I really like book 1, and this one would finish out the series. For The Frog in a Well, you're supposed to read something that takes place in a place you've never been. The easy route would have been to pick a fantasy book, because the chance of me going to, for example, Westeros are very slim, but I didn't pick that up because I have an r/fantasy bingo to fulfill, and I put Walking Practice by Dolki Min on there, and this takes place in Seoul, so I've never been to Korea. It still counts. I forgot what this is about, but I think it's about an alien or a plant species. It's about something trying to learn how to be human in order to pass off as human, I think. I don't know. And it involves trying to learn how to walk. And I think there is too many limbs to walk like a human. I don't know. The Boy Who Cried Wolf wants you to read something that has been on multiple TBRs before. I wouldn't say stretch this one, but it has been on one TBR before. I'm going to put down Tender is the Flesh by, I forgot the author's name. I had this on one TBR before. I don't know which one. Editing me has to figure that out and put it up in a card somewhere. And all I know about this one is that it's some dystopian future where we have cattle humans. There are humans that are bred for consumption because meat is a rarity now or something like that. For the town mouse and the country mouse, you're supposed to read something that features opposites of any kind, and I'm going with Limited Liability by Trisha Owens for that one. The opposites in this one is that what? He's fine. He's dreaming. Action movie drama. Yeah, he's fine. Anyway, the opposites in Limited Liability is that one of the characters is stinking fucking rich and the other one is not. Also, both of these characters are in a distinct dom-sub relationship, which are also opposites, and they are not verse. One of them is a dom, the other one is a sub. There is no switching around, so that is a kind of the opposite balance. And I appreciated in the first book that that is all it was, that it is just a dom-sub relationship with the contract and the negotiations and all of that. But I believe as the series goes on, these two do fall in love, but for now they made the deal no love. This is only about pleasure and stress relief, and I think that is very fair, and I like seeing that because that is something you don't usually see in kinky romance books. It's always about the romance, and these characters happen to be kinky. And in this one, the kink comes before the romance, so that is kind of cool. Also continues the series. For the Peacock and Crane prompt, you are supposed to read one of your most ornate covers, and I picked up Evocation by S.T. Gibson for that, because look at this. Look at the detail. Can you focus? I don't know if you can see it, but this cover is very, very detailed, and I am very in love with it. And also it's an S.T. Gibson, and I really want to read another S.T. Gibson because I love the writing style of these books. And in this one we follow a character who has, I think he's fighting off demonic possession, and in order to do that he has to reconnect with his ex-boyfriend who is now married, and there's some toxicity going on in that relationship, but in the end they all end up together. For the Hare and the Tortoise, you are supposed to read either the shortest book on your TBR or the longest book on your TBR. With all of the books I have to read this month, even if I just do the bare minimum, I don't want to read the longest book on my TBR because that would be 1,400 pages of bullshit by Terry Goodkind. Can I read it from here? No, I can't. So I'm not going to bother. But I'm not going to read The Stone of Tears by Terry Goodkind. Instead, I'm going to pick up another book that is on my r/fantasy bingo with A Trip to the Head by Ursula K. Le Guin. I have no idea what this is about. I put this down for r/fantasy bingo because I needed to fulfill the prompt, and I already used my Switch. This is a short story. I believe it's like 20 pages long or something. It is very, very short. So I do have to read Bigfoot Sommelier Butt Tasting and Space Raptor Butt Invasion first because they are shorter than A Trip to the Head. But once I read those, this one becomes the shortest book on my TBR. For The Monkey and the Crocodile, you have to have at least 2 different animals on the cover of the book. And for that one, I'm going to pick up The City of Others by Jared Poon. This is also on my r/fantasy bingo as a footnote. And yes, I did ask if this counts as 2 animals on the cover. Kirsty said yes, because there is a cat and a bunch of tentacles, so it is implied that there is a giant octopus around or something. Kirsty said this counts as 2 animals on the cover. I forgot what this is about. I legitimately forgot what this is about, but it looked fun, and there is a reason that my past self put it on r/fantasy, and I have it, so why not read it, you know? And that is it. That is the entire pile of possibilities, not TBR, pile of possibilities for the month of July. I know that I am missing the 3 special prompts here. I know that I'm missing a book for the final boss of the fables, the folklore, and the fairy tales. That is fine. I do not have the brain capacity to think about that right now, or anytime soon. First, I need to read what I need to read in order to even get to the special prompts. Again, if you need to know how this readathon works this time around, I will direct you to the announcement video somewhere down here, up there. I don't know. You will find it. I believe in you. But yeah, it's a lot of books to read. Even if I don't go for every single prompt, it's still a lot of books to read. I have a lot to do, and I will vlog the entire thing. So you may or may not be able to witness me combust on the spot, live and in color. Well, not live because it's probably have to edit that after the fact, but whatever. You will probably see me start to lose my marbles a little bit with all of the reading I have to do. Will that stop me? No, most definitely not. Have you met me? Anyway, if you made it this far into the video, let me know if you're participating in the Adventurerathon. If not, why not? It's fun. You should join. Let me know if you've read any of the books that are on my pile of possibilities, whatever. And if you don't want to talk to me at all, leave the overheating emoji down in the comments below. You know, the red one with sweat and the tongue out that is usually used in lewd sexting attempts. Leave that in the comments below because I am melting. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, I guess I will see you in the next video. Bye.